Hey babe, I'm filming. Huh? I'm filming, honey. Love that one. Awesome. I was actually diagnosed on December 30th, 1997. I had a boyfriend that I was not aware was actually a heroin user. Mr. Suit and Tie was actually prostituting himself in order to afford his heroin habit. And so I marched into the clinic being self-righteous and found out that I was HIV positive. I went from being a very healthy 27-year-old young man to all of a sudden I'm on toxic chemotherapies for AIDS. All right, well here's the thing. I'm gonna get out the triple cocktail and I'll show you what that's about. All right, these are, let's see, crap. This is a non-nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitor. And I believe that this one is the same thing because you take two of those, and I think this is the protease inhibitor. I think that toxicology is a valuable thing when you have an illness. The problem is that they began to give healthy people these medications, and it caused more problems. Most people who are diagnosed with HIV or AIDS are actually diagnosed with bipolar disorder as well. So this is actually for bipolar disorder, and so take that. The more people that have AIDS, the more we can prove that we need the funding. So in other words, I myself have written down this person died of AIDS, knowing good and well that they actually died of liver failure from the medications. This is actually like an anti-anxiety, because a lot of people with HIV have anxiety disorders, which I believe the medication causes that. And so that's what that's... My intention is to go into a homeopathic way of treating it, because that is, for me, a more comfortable way of doing it. This is in this container, but this is actually for pain. This is actually OxyContin. And so the reason that I hide it in here is because people will knock me in the head for it. That's sad that you have to hide the medication that you use. The reason that I'm taking medications now is because I actually have an illness. I show clinical observation of having an illness, and these are the medications that help. I can give information about HIV and AIDS, and I can tell people use condoms, and I can do all of that sort of thing. But I also challenge people to look at the alternatives because a lot of people don't know. Well, the first outbreak was a very different disease. Before 1971, you could be put into a mental institution for being a homosexual. So from 1971 to 1979, that was the sexual revolution for the homosexual community. Everybody was pretty much randomly having sex with each other. That was why the disease hit so hard and so heavy. Even the CDC has changed the definition of AIDS. The original definition of AIDS was considered completely terminal. Now it's considered manageable. It's a lifelong problem, but it's manageable, whereas it was considered terminal before. This one girl goes up here and she's looking at me and she goes, oh my God, what happened? I was like, it's an illusion. I'm an illusionist. I will tell you that working in the public, I've gotten sick. For instance, if I go into an office that has a bunch of kids, I'll go up and tell the person I have what's considered full-blown AIDS, and I can't sit in this office with a bunch of children, simply because I'll catch what they have. And I don't want to be the boy in the plastic bubble or anything, but I have to also realize that my immune system is compromised. So, it's one of the things that limits my work ability, simply because I can't stand on my feet for a long period of time. The stigma and the prejudice is still there. I've lost a couple of jobs because of it. I've lost friends because of it. My entire family walked away from the situation simply because it's hard to deal with the mortality of a child. My parents just eventually didn't call anymore. My sister just didn't call anymore. And they said, well, you'll always be on a cane, you'll probably be in a wheelchair. The social stigma, yeah, I can understand that. But the family stigma is what sticks you really in the heart. Yeah. And so now that he and I have gotten together and found sort of this... My husband now supports me in everything that I do, who goes to every doctor appointment with me. And it's what my mother, my father, my sister, my roommate, it's what everybody else wouldn't do or couldn't do. And he looked at me real funny and he's like, you can't do that. Really funny. He's like, I wouldn't know you did. That's not who you are. I wouldn't know to come home. I thought it was really sweet.
On Saturday, December 1st, 7 p.m., there is an annual interfaith service hosted by the care communities, service of remembrance and hope at Gethsemane Lutheran Church.
We know where to get the Diva shirt now.
They're not always as strong as they wish they could be. And it's hard for them to let go of what they were and realize what they are. They live their lives every day with that what if factor. As a partner to that individual, you need to make sure to say, what if is a big word. It's a big statement.
Love one another. Thank you. May God bless us.
But I think that a lot of times people need to look themselves in the mirror. What if that person were you? What happens when you have a one-night stand and you forget to have safe sex? Or you ask that person and they say, no, I'm HIV negative. They're HIV negative because they haven't taken a test. So you have sex, you know, where semen is exchanged. Well, 5 years from now, you turn up HIV positive. What are you going to do? It slaps you in the face when you have to carry that disease with you, and that whole time that you refuse to talk to, associate with, or have a relationship with someone else that was HIV positive, now that person is you. Regardless if Cain lives another 15 years or he lives another 2 months, you know, my time with Cain has been important and special to me, you know. Having to deal with the fact that he's going to have to deal with this disease eventually is hard. But you want to make sure that when you sit down and you make plans, that you make plans for the future. You don't make plans for right now.
Passed into the other room. But we're also here to join together and to lift up those who are walking the path of HIV/AIDS now. 3,900.
It's hard and it's rough, but in the end, it's worth it because love conquers all. And I love that man.
These are my skull glasses. They're my favorites. I think they're cool. They look so stupid on, but they're fabulous. They're fabulous. Okay, so then we've got these are my Kiss Me glasses. I like these. These are actually sort of Ozzy Osbourne-ish.
Yeah.
You know, you can see her. Ozzy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see Ozzy, you know, doing the Oz. In reality, I guess what it reminded me of is that I'm human and that I'm going to die. But that was the reality of it before I was ever diagnosed with AIDS. I'm lucky because I believe that I have a way to prepare for it in a way. So it's comforting to know that I'm dying. How weird. That's morbid, I guess. Right? That sounds morbid, but it's comforting to know it.
I received a phone call yesterday. Apparently someone that I know has tested positive for HIV and has turned my name into the Community Health Board. So I have to schedule in basically for an HIV test next week. When I was growing up in school, it was very hard because children are mean and children are cruel and they say ugly things. That's why I hope you get AIDS. That is a horrible, horrible thing for somebody to tell somebody. It'd be like saying, well, I hope you catch leukemia. You know, what is that? What is that? You know, it's not like you wish somebody herpes where they broke out on their face. You know what I'm saying? You have just wished a death-defying disease on somebody. And yet you stand there and you say you're compassionate.
No, and let me tell you something. It's like the butt spray at the Miss America pageant. The girl just sprayed her hair down in the 80s, right? Hair down like this, right? Or they use this adhesive stuff to glue their little skirt, their little outfit down the little bathing suit. This girl picked the butt spray up, spray adhesive, and just laid her hair into it with this 80s hairdo. God. Girl, don't you know that I'm standing there and they're like, it's 30 seconds till you got to be on stage. I'm wrapping this bitch's hair up on my thumb, right? One bobby pin. And she's like worried. And she hits the stage, and I swear to God, that glamour shot, bam. Oh, I can make it stay. I may get a staple gun out, but I'll make it stay. You will go out on stage looking flawless. Now, you may be bleeding down the back of your damn dress, But you will go out on stage looking flawless. All right. Now, I will say that every time I get sick, I go through this little catastrophe where I'm like, oh my God, is this it? You know what I mean? And that's the horrible part. Like, I don't want it to be it because, like, tomorrow I have things to do. You know? So it's like I have shit to do tomorrow. So can we just wait for a day? Like, you know, I don't have anything to do tomorrow. Go ahead and drop dead. I have appointments tomorrow, you know, so I can't do this right now.
It's been a long, dark the only way for people in this world to know what this disease is by those individuals who have this disease to speak up.
You yourself, you've never lived in a world where AIDS didn't exist. I remember a world where AIDS didn't exist.